Well, howdy Johnny Rev. My name is Southern Soldier, and in today's video we're going to be talking about essential gear for reenacting. Now, warning, you do not have to get this gear immediately before you go on the field. What a lot of units do is they have loaner gear that they will give you, or not give you, but they will let you use on the field until you get your gear built up. So, you don't have to immediately buy these before you start the hobby, but these are like things that I would buy first before anything else. Now, the number one essential thing that I'm going to go over, going straight into the video, is surprisingly not the uniform. It is brogans. Now, it is controversial on the essentialness of them. They are essential if you're an adult, but non-essential if you're a teenager or a kid doing the hobby. Now here's why. If you're an adult, you have stopped growing, your feet have stopped growing, you're not going to outgrow these, and these cost about $110, brogans do. So, you don't want to buy them and then have to buy them again in another year or two while they're still good just because you outgrew them. So, and if you're a kid, the reason why they're not essential is because, like I just said, you're going to outgrow them because you're still growing. So, ain't no use in paying $110 for brogans and then having to buy them again in 2 years because you've outgrown them. Now, where to get them at? I would recommend getting them from private purchase instead of store-bought. Now, in sutlery shops, that's where they run about $110, but they are brand new. So, you've got to take the good with the bad. But I got mine private purchase. I got them for about $10. Now that is a huge deal. It's $100 less. But and I mean, mine are still really good condition. Only problem I found is on my right brogan. There is a bit of a crack in the leather. Don't know if y'all can see that. But yeah, otherwise these are still good. Heel plates are still on. Dude gave me new shoelaces to go with them. So, yeah. This would be your first piece of gear that you'd want to get. If you're an adult, not really if you're a kid. Oh, before I forget, another thing is, don't go into camp with the mindset that they have loaner gear, they have your size. A lot of times they will have your size, but if you have like size 14 shoes or something like that, they might not have them. So don't go into camp with the mindset of they're going to have my size, because they may not. And don't try and cheap out on them. Don't try and buy cheap tennis shoes, black tennis shoes from Walmart. It takes away from the impression whenever you've got period gear on and then you go onto the field wearing Nikes. So don't do that. Go for brogans. Okay? Now, second essential piece of gear. Canteen. Now, the reason why I say this is because some units, some guys may be willing to loan you their canteen, but for sanitary reasons, you're drinking out of some other dude's canteen. He hardly knows you, you hardly know him. You don't know what he's got, he doesn't know what you've got. So, try and get this. Now, as far as what type of canteen to get, I do a Confederate impression, and some Confederate canteens that you can get, you've got about 2, 3, 4 choices, okay? Number one is the Bullseye. Now, Bullseye is, I don't know how time period it is. I think that they were time period, but they weren't used often. It might have been around late war, I'm not sure. A Bullseye is the ones where they have rings around the sides, and they're metal. Now, whenever you get them, you can get them in tin, Try and stay away from that. Yeah, it's authentic, but they rust out. Try and go for the stainless steel ones. Plus, it's going to have a wool cover on it. Nobody's going to know unless, they know what different type of metals look like. And even then, I still can't tell the difference between stainless steel and tin. So, there you go. But, yeah, you can get a bullseye, you can get a smooth side. Now, a smooth side looks like a bullseye, but it doesn't have the rings. And it'll have a wool cover on it too. Now, in fact, I think I have an example upstairs. I'll be right back. Let me go get it. Alright, I'm back. So, this is a smooth side canteen. Now, bullseyes look like this too, but they usually have a wool cover on them. Some will have leather straps, most will have cotton straps. That's not an important thing, okay? The corks on these, they do tend to wear out, so make sure that, you have corks for them whenever they do wear out. This is a smooth-sided canteen. Wool cover. If you're doing Confederate impression, gray was around, but surprisingly what they mostly would have used was blue. Blue wool cover, I mean. Reason is, that was just the standard issue. You gotta realize a lot of your Confederate soldiers were switching over from Federal stuff, so, that's why a lot of them still had sky blue pants, and a lot of the stuff, too, was captured. So, gray wool cover, not as common as blue, but it will definitely work for Confederate. If you're Union, gray, surprisingly, was what they would have been issued to, but, I mean, you can go with blue wool, too, okay? So that's smooth side. The canteen that I've got is a wooden canteen. Now it's got a cotton woven strap. I got this at Smoky Mountain Knife Works. Don't know if y'all know where that's at. It is in Gatlinburg, Tennessee, that is. So, with this one, there are two different types of wood canteens. One type is the beeswax type, which is what this is. Now this is a time period-ish canteen. It has the beeswax lining in it. Now, one tip with these is you do not want to leave them out in the sun. If you leave them out in the sun for a long period of time, it can melt the beeswax in it and cause it to leak. If that happens, you can get a beeswax candle at like Walmart, melt it down in a pot, pour it in, cork it, shake it up really good all around, make sure you get all the corners, let it dry. Once it dries, might want to put a second coat in, shake it all around, do that. The second kind of wooden canteen you might get is a plastic lined one. If you're not worried about time period accuracy, nobody's going to see inside of your canteen anyways, so it wouldn't really matter. But another type is plastic lined. Now the plastic lined is what I would go for. Those, you can leave them out in the sun, it doesn't affect it, like in hot water, but hey, at least your canteen won't leak. But yeah, canteens usually run around 20, 30 bucks. I got this one for about, I want to say, well, I didn't get it, I got it for Christmas, but my dad got it for me. I want to say he got it for like 15-ish. So, it's been a good canteen. I've already used it at my COI, Camp of Instruction. So, it's been a really good canteen. Okay? Now, the third essential piece of gear, the hat. Now, This is a sloucher type hat, a slouch cap. This is common for Confederate use. Oh, just remembered something. I want to point this out real quick. Wooden canteens, primarily Confederacy. There might have been some Union wooden canteens, but mostly Confederate. Okay? Back to the hat. This is a slouch cap, okay? Now, whenever you're looking at hats, style points, you can go for that, but what you also want to look at is it going to protect you from the sun? Now, whenever you go to die in a battle, in a reenacting battle, you got to realize you're probably going to be laying there, depending on how big the battle is, from maybe 30 minutes to an hour, maybe even 2 hours, who knows. So, you want something that's going to cover your face, and, you know, it's not going to burn you. Now, a common hat with the Confederacy was the slouch cap, or the Stetson. Now, Stetsons is what's commonly referred to as a cowboy hat. I don't have an example of those, but, you know, that was very common for the Confederacy. This was a common one too, slouch caps. Now, as you can see, this one started to separate. I just think it adds more to the impression, you know, makes it look warm, Confederate. Now, another example of hat is the kepi. Now, a lot of reenactors go for this. They come in a variety of colors. You can get Richmond gray. This one's medium gray. Another color is butternut. Don't be shy with that one. That one was a common Confederate color. But yeah, I usually just go for medium gray or Richmond gray stuff because I live in Tennessee. You know, Bristol, that's on the border between Tennessee and Virginia. So we would have gotten some Army of Virginia stuff from what I've heard.